Hello, hello. This is a quick installment of Zenwood. Not too long. I just want to demonstrate sort of a creativity, that's my whole thing. Flexibility. There's a million hobbies that you could do. And stringing beads is probably the most meditative and extremely difficult. I don't know if you've ever tried it. These are super tiny beads. I believe it is a type of goldstone. It's going to be really hard to show you. But it has kind of it's navy blue and it has sort of a sparkly. I'll show you the original fish line string that I got. So initially I was going to kind of twist them like this, and I might still do that. It makes sort of a twisty bracelet, that goes around. It's very pretty, but it's not. It's got enough of a masculine thing. I feel comfortable wearing it as a man jewelry. But I am Sagittarius, and I've been doing yoga for 30 years, so I don't care a lot about stuff like that. I'm okay with wearing pink, and I don't have any problems with the LGBTQ community or other races, which, I'm not going to get into it, but recently I discovered that a group, another racial group that is not of my nature, it does not like my community and won't work with us because of my skin color, and that really hurts. People always think that somehow it's only white Americans that are racist, but it is not true. I won't get into details, but in my life in Minnesota in the past 5 years, I have experienced several different groups being very hateful towards me. And I'm a tough guy. I'm not really faded by it. But I want to live in a peaceful world. So hobbies like this, I know I'll kind of segue back into it. I know that's kind of an intense topic and we probably shouldn't talk a lot about it, and I won't go into details. And I am not hateful. I am loving. I just want to be at peace with everybody. That's my goal. So I hope maybe these things inspire people after a while. But when you're having trouble with any kind of difficult thing, or you feel nervous or distracted or unproductive, which happens when you have something like ADHD, for example. I know a lot of people. I'm pretty sure that I have it myself. I'm looking into it. People like that can struggle with properly expressing their emotions and also staying focused, staying on track. And it's not because they don't care about people, it's just because they have difficulty with it. So I find that, and I know this is part of it, getting into it. I'm not a therapist, but I have learned from my friend and from my own research that you basically want to kind of keep yourself busy. You want to have a lot of hobbies. So on the weekend, I don't always want to watch TV. I get bored of that. Sometimes I make art, and I've shown that in other videos. This time, I had these goldstone. I'm like, you know what? I just want to experience what it's like to string a bead. I just want to show you. Of course, I picked the smallest beads on earth. It's a lot easier when you have larger beads. But I picked up this really nice, that's Stretch Magic. It's like a stretchy string from the craft store. Oh my goodness. And here's a little clasp. This is a really old school one, by the way. And I have some other clasps that I need some more stuff. I don't have a lot of jewelry products. This is going to be really fun for me. I think I'm going to get into that because, Zenwood is very universal. I have kind of a specific theme that I stick to with art, but I don't completely restrict myself. This is a very open-ended thing. It's very universal. And I highly encourage you to just sort of have that kind of a freedom of, my take on my Zenwood company is that it's a hobby business. My yoga company is a real business. My Datta Dasa Akasha Ashram is a nonprofit in the making. It's not designated as that yet, but the idea behind that is that everything is not free, but really low cost. And as much free material as possible, free services, charity, philanthropy, community outreach, all kinds of stuff like that. I'm using the word stuff a lot, I apologize. Look at that. It's very mindful, it's very meticulous. I would even go so far as possibly stringing malas and creating sort of unique spiritual products for all the different companies, especially the ashram, because that's going to be sort of a spiritual focus and all that. So, I'm not going to string the whole thing. I just want to show you. This is really good. Like, I have a little bit of I must have something. Like, I have a little bit of a shakiness in my hands. I do suffer from sort of perpetual anxiety, and I know that's part of it. So this is actually a really good kind of, let's just call it a kind of therapy. If you can turn hobbies into therapy and do therapy on yourself, you may not need to go do it with others. I was just having this discussion with a friend, and then, I had a dim view of therapy at one point because I went through so much of it, and I feel like it didn't totally fix me. And so then I became really negative about it, but then I realized that it did actually help me for a period of time. And if someone was to ask me, I'm struggling with this, do you think that I should go to a therapist? And my immediate answer now is going to be the same every time. Absolutely, yes, you should. If you feel that way, you should go get help. I know it costs money, and we don't always want to do that. And, not all therapists are created equal, and not all therapy modalities are going to work for you. However, I think everyone needs it. So I encourage it. So with that, we'll do more next time. Thanks for joining in. Namaste.